Hi, in this session we are looking at cascading style sheets. So now when we talk about cascading style sheets, we're really talking about a way of specifying a style to your HTML pages. Now when you've looked at HTML, you've seen that HTML helps you create the content of web pages. You can use tags, and using those tags you can specify different areas of a web page, and that gives you the grammar and the structure to provide the content to the web pages which are viewable from a browser. But now what the designers of the web scheme of the web way of content and presentation, what they've done is that they have tried to separate the content of a page from the way it looks, from the look and feel of the page, the styling of the page. So while HTML is the language for the content, CSS is the language for the look and feel and the styling in the building of web pages. So those are known as cascading style sheets, or CSS. So by the end of this lecture, you should be able to describe CSS and its role, and be familiar with CSS syntax, including selector, declaration, property, value, class, etc. Be familiar with color codes, typefaces, etc. And identify three different ways of applying CSS styles to HTML: the inline way, the embedded way, and using external style sheets. So let's look at CSS and its role. So here you have the content which is taken care of by HTML, and then you have JavaScript which helps add dynamic content to web pages, and it takes care of behavior the way it's described over here right now. But in basic web pages, the two things that you almost always have is HTML and CSS. So CSS here helps you separate the design from the content. It was created by Haakon Wimley of MIT in 1994 and is a World Wide Web Consortium standard for controlling visual presentation of web pages. So what CSS does is that it allows you to change the color of an image on the page, lets you add backgrounds and borders. You can use CSS to change the visual appearance of elements like lists and links, as well as customize the entire layout of a page. So if HTML gives your pages structure, then CSS can be thought of a mechanism to give the pages beauty. So CSS is used in many different ways. It helps keep HTML simple. It is also very efficient because you can reuse the style across multiple pages. So the advantages of CSS is that it allows for an easier workflow, faster downloads, streamlined site maintenance, and global control of attributes. And it allows for cost savings, reduced bandwidth costs. There's only one style sheet which can be called again and again, and it can be cached. And it can help in higher search engine rankings. The cleaner code is easier for search engines to index, and also it leads to faster downloads, better usability. And then of course, rather than we can say that you'll look cooler, but it's also almost a requirement now to be able to code in CSS to be able to build web pages.